Hey everybody, my name is Megan DeVito and I'm here again from 10,000 Swords Coaching. I wanted to thank you guys real quick for jumping onto this YouTube video today and share a little bit about what I do. First of all, I live in Northeast Indiana and I am a communication coach. Mostly I work with teenagers who struggle with low concept, with their confidence, and really communicating with others. But I also work with the adults in their lives, teachers and parents, to teach them how to better communicate and how to connect so that they can thrive, so they have more confidence, they're able to get their point across and be successful. I also work with, anybody who's working to build their communication skills. So if you are struggling with your spouse or you're struggling with your friends or you're struggling with your coworkers, or if you're really looking to connect with your client, I use this really awesome system called Bank Code to be able to teach you more about yourself and your values and how you can use those values to connect with other people. So I just wanted to introduce myself and say thanks again for watching today. And to tell you that because October is Anti-Bullying Month, National Anti-Bullying Month, and of course National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I wanted to talk once a week all through the month of October about bullying and how we can use the bank system to help ourselves deal with bullying or our kids deal with bullying, whether we're at school or whether we're at work. So we're going to talk about workplace wellness and workplace bullying, but also as a teacher or as a student or as a parent, what we can do with our kids. So that is really where we're going to go. This week we're going to talk about different types of bullying. I'm going to cover what to do if you're being bullied or if your child's being bullied. That'll be next week. Then we're going to cover what to do if you are the bully or if your child is the bully. And none of us really like to admit that. And it kind of is one of those things where like, hey, whoa, no bullying, but careful, okay? So we'll talk about that as well, and we're going to end with a little bit of a challenge and an opportunity for what can come after we learn more. So I'm also going to invite you to go ahead and code yourself using the code. It is www.mybankcode.com/10,000, like 10000 swords coaching. And when you do that, you are going to go in, there'll be 4 cards on the screen, a red, blue, yellow, and green. I want you to put them order from most like your values to least like your values. And by doing this, you will help me be able to communicate better with you with more understanding and more quickly, should you decide to have a further conversation into coaching opportunities, or if you just want to connect and see what bank can do for you as a school administrator or as a person in corporate America working in sales, because it works fantastic for anybody that you would have to communicate with, whether it's your spouse, your children, your students, your coworkers, like I said before, okay? So let's talk today what a bully looks like. A bully looks like me. Yes, a bully looks like me. I look like a bully. A bully also looks like my kid. It also looks like your neighbor or your grandma. Yes, your grandma could look like a bully. Bullies do not have a specific look. I like to think of that kid on A Christmas Story with the coonskin cap and the braces and like snaggly teeth. Looks like a bully, right? No, a bully can look like anyone. It doesn't have to be a boy. It doesn't have to be a girl. It doesn't have to be a young person. It does not have to be an adult. It can be an elderly person. It can be a white person, a black person, a Christian, a Muslim, a Jewish person, a gay person, a straight person. It doesn't matter. A bully is anyone. Anyone can be a bully. All right, we like to use stereotypes to our benefit. I want you to chuck those out the door right now because a bully looks like anyone. So step 1, if you see the sweet little girl with the little pink dress walking and your daughter says she's too mean, she's a bully, and you say, oh, she's so sweet, she can't be a bully. Oh, yes, she can. All right, so can, so can the like chubby little Asian kid down the block who looks like whatever your stereotype is for that kid. Yes, he can be a bully too, okay? So can your sweet little grandma with a cane, all right? Or the really nice older gentleman who wears the driving cap and always waves out the window. Yes, he can also be, they can all be bullies, all right? That's how we find one. We just don't, okay? Now, there are different forms of bullying. And I'm going to keep this rather brief because I don't want to drag out for too long. But the first most common form that I think we think about is actually physical bullying. Physical bullying would be the kind where we shove someone's head into a locker, or we shove them into the water cooler at work, or we trip them in the hallway. Physical bullying, this one's easy, right? This one, the bully's usually bigger or stronger and uses their strength to take control of a situation. That one we know, right? That's what I think that's our snap to bullying thing. Verbal bullying. You guys know these bullies. Verbal bulliers are the name callers. All right. They like to call people names. They can't, it's almost like they can't get their intelligence together to come up with an actual argument. So they call people little names. They'll make up little nicknames for people. Unfortunately, this is becoming more common and more acceptable, partly because of what we see the current president doing with the name calling. I am the biggest name calling hater. I just discussed this with my students yesterday. Name calling is the equivalent of when we were little and we used to say, "You're a poopy butt." That's baby bullying, okay? But verbal bullying can, they usually target like small kids, weak kids that are different, and they'll call them, what was it? An episode of, was it the Brady Bunch or something, where somebody got glasses and they called her Four Eyes, or maybe it was Little House on the Prairie. I don't know. I'm dating myself, aren't I? But verbal bullying is a very, very common form of bullying. And we used to like to say, "Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me." What a crock. That is not true. Words hurt. And when they continue, and the way someone talks to us, we start to believe it. And this form of bullying can be self-bullying too. If you are constantly telling yourself how much you suck, or how ugly you are, or how fat you are, or anything else, you are bullying yourself. For crying out loud, knock that off. Don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to someone else's face. All right? And be careful, because if you're a bully, we're not sure what you'll say to someone else's face. But verbal bullying is a definite form of bullying, right? Relational aggression. Ooh, this is a big one. I'm going to tell you a story. Ready? Once upon a time, there was a group of students that lived not very far from me, not in my kids' school district, that put together an online group, Facebook, Snapchat, Insta, whatever it was. Probably, let's say around 15 kids were in this group. And what they did was they would create almost a sequence of sabotage for a student, that usually targeting one or two students. And they would say, "I will be in this location at this time and I will do this, so that when he or she goes to the next classroom, you can do this and extend it there." And eventually leading up to where it looks like the student who's being bullied has done something wrong while it was coordinated by all the other students, or placing blame for someone, setting them up to get in trouble, and then creating evidence and placing it places. Things like that. Yeah, this is like coordinated, and this is intensive bullying, okay? So relational aggression, this is bullying by sabotage. You take away someone's ability to stand up for themselves, or you take away their self-concept or their confidence by passing rumors, telling secrets, manipulating situations. This is straight Mean Girls, okay? You've seen the movie Mean Girls. We like to put the comedic spin on it. Mean Girls is a relational aggression. It's like that, spreading a rumor and putting it out there for everyone to think it's true, and then standing back and watching their world explode. Relational aggression, I think, is one that we see a lot in a workplace, where you'll have two employees that decide to stand outside and whisper loudly about another employee, or to accidentally send a text message to someone else like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to send that to you." Or, it's very childlike behavior, but in a very adult way. So relational aggression can happen in schools, but it also happens a lot in a workplace. If this is something you experience in your office, it is bullying, and you can report it to HR. All right. Cyberbullying. We hear a lot about this one. There was actually the whole movie called Cyberbully. Believe it or not, it's not the most common form, but it is definitely the form that is increasing the fastest. It's the form that we see happening most often. Not more, I don't mean most often. I mean that it's, sorry, my phone rang and I got distracted. It's the form that is increasing the quickest. It's also the one that, when we were in school, like when I was in school, you could, if you were being bullied, you could go home and you could turn on music or turn on TV and escape, and you didn't have to deal with it until at least you went back to school the next day. That didn't make going back to school any better, but it did give you a break. But with cyberbullying, with kids constantly having their phone next to them, or they've got social media, they've got their laptop, they've got their Chromebook to do their homework, and it's a constant onslaught of text messages or aggressive posts where they'll be called out, even if they just are subtweeted on the internet, where they're like, so-and-so is this and this, and they know it's directed and that person's going to see it, tagging someone in a mean post or something like that, just to constantly stay on them. Kids don't get a break with cyberbullying. This is emotionally exhausting. It is physically exhausting. It is mentally exhausting. And it is also on the rise everywhere with everybody being plugged in. So sexual bullying. Sexual bullying is repeated sexual harassment, crude gestures, touching, sexting, people sending pornography, unwanted pornography, slut shaming, propositions, all of those different things, even if they'll be like, I was just joking, I was doing this. No, that is not funny. Yes, some people are, sexual harassment suits come from this, but it's also a form of bullying. So at schools, if you are seeing your students deal with this in the hallway, where they're always, there's always somebody like, there's always little boys or little girls that are making some crude gesture. I would love to say that, little girls are not doing this, but they are. Little boys, I think, have been known for this a little bit more, and I don't mean to unfairly categorize little boys. I have 2 boys of my own, and I don't want to throw them under the bus with this. I think they saw it first with things like rude gestures and things, but girls have picked this up, and they're just as bad, all right? Sexual bullying is another form. Finally, prejudicial bullying. This is the one that we see often in the news now. This is picking on someone based on their sex, religion, sexual orientation, political beliefs. Prejudicial bullying and political beliefs. This is what we've come to. But this is a form of bullying. And when you're repeatedly attacking someone's character or physical, their physical body or their worth as a human being based on some prejudice, whether it's their skin color or how they worship or their sexual orientation, that is an intense form of bullying that quickly escalates by, if we see on social media, if we watch on Twitter, it's just it's just out of control all the time with the name calling. The one that I see right now is how people will use the term liberal or conservative like it's a cuss word or like some derogatory term, and I'm like, it's kind of annoying and it's out of control. But all of these are forms of bullying that we need to pay attention to. And so what does bank have to do with this? So I told you I am a coach, and I use this tool called Bank Code to help me with my clients, but I also use it with my students at school because I'm a teacher, and I use it at home with my husband and our kids. And what it is, I will give you the link again at the end. I'll post it up there. You can click that, put those cards in order from most like you to least like you, and it will tell you how you best make decisions or your values that are most important to you based on this scientific code. Originally, this program was created for sales. But the studies that they've done, and if you message me and you want to know more, I'm happy to send you the studies from these different universities that can increase your success with communication, whether it's in sales or otherwise, by 300%, which is unreal, a huge amount. But being able to say, okay, my code says that I am a primary nurturer. Okay, now, if I'm a primary nurturer, that means I don't like conflict. It means that I like to greet you with a hug. It means that I am out to make things better. I'm a helper, right? Don't confuse this with Enneagram or Myers-Briggs or anything, because yes, when you take the test, you're going to be like, well, what's the difference? And I'm going to say, well, not really anything, except everything. Because what Bank does is it allows you to find out, once you learn about what these codes mean, you can start coding other people. And it's not like you always have to whip out your little deck of cards. I'll show you my cards real quick. They're in my purse. It's not like you always have to whip out these little cards. So I have, these 4 cards, right? These are the picture cards. These are the adult cards. They have the words on them. It's not like I have to always whip out my cards or say, hey, could you use this link to code yourself? Because I started to learn what's on these cards so that you can do this thing called speed coding. Speed coding is awesome, all right? You learn to pick up cues when you're talking with someone and to say, hey, this person seems like they might really, this is how they make decisions. So when you see them trying to figure something out, or you're trying to connect with them as, a teacher-student relationship, or from a parent-child relationship, as you just things are off with your spouse, or if you're trying to connect with a new client, for crying out loud, what makes them tick? What can I do to best get on their playing field? You ready? I'm going to challenge you. If there is a bully and you are experiencing bullying by watching someone else do it, or you yourself are experiencing being bullied, and you have the knowledge of knowing how to look at someone and say, this person is this. Like if I said, this person is knowledge. My green cards are always knowledge. Okay. So let's say I look at this person and I said, they are all about learning. They're about intelligence. They always want to seem smarter than everyone else. Logic. They want things to make sense. Technology or processes or the big picture or accuracy. If they're always throwing a fit about something's off by like 0.1 or something like that, then we know how to connect with them. We can say, you know what? I see that you're trying to do this, and let's talk about this, and you learn how to speak their language. It would be the same as if you approached a new student at school who spoke French, and you came up and you said, hey, how you doing? My name's Megan. And they look at you like, I don't know. And if you would say, bonjour, mais, je m'appelle Megan, then they would say, oh, hey, hi, blah, blah, blah. And they would say everything else in French. By the way, that's probably about all the French I can swing right now. Is bonjour and je m'appelle. Okay, so don't ask me to speak French again. But I almost said Spanish. I almost said me amo anyway. But anyways, beside the point. When you are speaking someone's language and you can connect with them, that makes communication open. And when communication opens, we can figure out, why is this bullying happening? Or why is this kid or this adult what's causing them to feel so powerless that they have to steal someone else's power? Because that's really what bullying is, all right? So in the coming weeks, I'm going to be talking to you more about bullying and more about, what to do if your child's being bullied, what to do if you are being bullied, what to do if you are the bully. And that one's going to be real interesting because we're going to have a little come to Jesus time, okay? And we're going to every week, we're going to talk about how using these codes and these cards are going to be game changers in your relationship with yourself and learning more about how you communicate, because you're going to struggle putting these in order when you do it. I promise. You're going to be like, I'm all of these. I'm all of these things. And I'm going to say, yeah, you are. You're all of these things. Okay? So thank you for joining me today. I know this was scattered. I know it was maybe a new concept to you. And I really am excited to be able to present more of this and share with you how you can get involved in Bank. If you, as a school system, as a parent, or as a corporation, would like to learn more about how Bank can work for you, how you can increase your sales or communication skills by up to 300%, and how you can get started just learning more, please message me and contact me. I would love to hook you up with a webinar and a white paper that goes into so much information, or even come out and speak to your teachers about how they can use Bank in their classroom, or your sales team. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Megan DeVito. I'm with 10,000 Swords Coaching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.